we knew a little bit about the hour before the day of standing, but uh, what you showed us through the reading of the book is that every generation that has been coming and going has an hour of its own. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so the hour is mentioned, I don't know how many times in the Quran. The word is sa'a in Arabic. And the most obvious hour we are all waiting for is the hour of the end of this creation that we are in. And that will be before, as you said, Day of the Standing, which most people do not understand the term Day of the Standing in the so called Islamic faith, or lack thereof, if I might add. Their faith, they say it's the uh, like Yawm al Qiyamah in Arabic, yeah? Everything will stand. No, all of us will stand to God. That is the day of the standing. They say, oh, the moon and everything is going to stand, the sun is going to stand, and the moon and the earth and everything's going to stand, yeah? No, no, they'll be destroyed before we stand. So we will all stand in front of God after this whole creation is destroyed, after all generations from the beginning, from Adam to the last man who will be given death or destroyed on this earth. After that, we will all bring all of these guys will come out of the earth after it's destroyed, after it's flattened, completely flattened. I mean, not just level, it will be leveled and flattened that day. And we will all rise out of this earth after its destruction. And when God sends down fluid from the heaven, that is the hour that we're waiting for, after which all that I've explained, or some of what I've explained, will happen. There's a lot of other things, but that is fundamentally what's going to happen at that time. The hour of the end, when the sun and the moon will be destroyed, the heaven will um, cleave, will fall, the stars will be lost, they will fall to the earth will spew out all her innards, the seas will burst forth, yeah, everything will be destroyed. And that will be the final hour. Now, also the hour that the Quran mentions, and you have to understand in each place which hour is being referred to. So each generation has its own hour. Now, everybody will say, what is a generation? I don't know. Whatever God wants it to be. I mean, the generation of Noah was 800 to 1,000 years, yeah? The generation before us could have been 300 years or 500 years or 200 years, or I mean, I don't know. It's not the 25 years that they tell you a generation is 25 years, because you go from 0 to 25, that's one generation, and then the next one. Yeah, these are all are nonsensical ideas of what generations are. That is not the reality. So every people or generation has its hour. When the hour comes, that generation is finished off, destroyed, punished, uh, wiped out, most of it. Of course, because if everybody's wiped out, then you won't be able to exist, right? That will be the last hour, which I explained. Most are wiped out. Only those that God chooses will continue on. And uh, almost always, actually, always, it is the believers who are left over after the end or the destruction of every generation. So that is the hour for every people. How many of those have happened? I don't know. Many, many. I mean, there are more than seven examples in the Quran, and seven clear examples in the Quran of generations that have been, or cities that have been ended. So people as well. It doesn't have to be the whole earth. It can be a people, a nation, a city, like in the case of Lot, it was Sodom and Gomorrah. In the case of Abraham, he was taken away from his people when they tried to kill him, and they were the losers. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be that everybody's wiped out. They are punished, and then the believers get on top. Yeah. In the case of Noah, the whole earth was vanquished by flood. And only Noah and his family, his progeny, survived, not all of them. Same with the Ad, the people who were the Greeks, and the messenger who's called Hud in the Quran. They were all destroyed. Now, was it the whole of the generation on the earth? Possibly. It seems likely that they were all massacred, yeah? And the remnants of those are the Romans today, yeah? The Greeks. Then came the Thamud in the Quran, which the remnants of those are the Hindus, Sikhs, and Buddhists today on the earth. And they were wiped out as well. The whole generation was wiped out, but doesn't mean that there was nobody left over. Because if there was no one left over, then we didn't just sprout out of the ground. Yeah, it's not evolution. Yeah, somebody has to be there to start the creation, like Adam and his spouse were created at the beginning. So that is that hour. So all of like that Moses' hour was when Pharaoh was drowned and his forces in the sea. Yeah. And Lot when the city was turned upside down. So same thing with every other generation. When especially a messenger comes, the end of them is their destruction. So that's what's coming to this generation now, the hour of this generation or this people. How will that unfold? I don't know. What kind of punishment will come to destroy them? I don't know. How God will massacre them? I don't know. But the certainty is that He will. There is no doubt that God will massacre all these people because it's obvious they have turned against the words of the book, the truth that is in the book. So there's no two things about it. It will occur. When it does, they will know. Till it does, they will doubt, as every generation before them has done. And they will doubt what I say till the punishment comes to them. This is nothing new, and it's nothing to be worried about by me specifically. I mean, they will call me all sorts of names, and I've gone crazy, mad. Am I the only one guided? Does he think he knows and we don't? Things like that have been said to all sorts of people before me, like me. Yeah, all sorts of characters. We don't come with one character. The messenger doesn't come with the same character every time God brings a messenger. He doesn't come with the same color. He doesn't come with the same eyes or ears or anything else, or whether he's tall or short or anything else. It doesn't matter. God doesn't define what race a messenger or prophet has to come from. So he comes from whatever God chooses, whoever God chooses. He chooses who he wishes and he guides him to himself. And then he uses him to bring his message to the people on the earth. And when they destroy the messenger or kill him or overturn the message, destroy the reality that's in front of them by their words, they can't really destroy it. Yeah, although they do actually destroy by burning down the land and fighting and making wars, but they mutilate the truth to their own desires, and God brings the hour upon them and destroys. Now there is another hour, the hour of the day. We have hours during the day. It's not like you created this hour, yeah, that you 24 hours. It's an hour as well. So there's an hour during the day as well, which is also mentioned in the book. So this is why you have to be specifically careful as to what you read out of that word when you read the Quran. And then finally, one more hour for you is the hour of death of every soul. When the hour of death comes to every soul, that is the soul's hour, because every soul doesn't die at the end of the generation. There's a whole generation that passes, everybody dies all along the way. So that is the hour for the death of the soul. So this is how the hour is explained in the Quran. And you have to understand when you read it which hour it is referring to. And it's sometimes a little convoluted or a little difficult to understand. But if you keep reading the Quran and you step back and look at the big picture, you will know more or less which hour is being referred to at this particular spot which you're reading in the Quran.